in the afternoon, so welcome. So if everyone just wants to give me a shout out where you're all from, I can see who's online with us. I'm just having a look. If I can recognise any names, I can recognise a few of you here. It's lovely and sunny here in Sydney. So my name is Lilette Khalija, and I am from All That Counts, and I'm also a member of the Intuit Trainer Writer Network, as well as being a certified Pro Advisor. My website's there, so if anyone would like to know a little bit more about us, feel free to jump on our website. But we're not here to talk about me, we're here to talk about Superstream, which is less than a couple of weeks away. So for those of you that have read my recent blog on Superstream, you'll have a fair idea of what it's about. Now, I have put a copy of the recent blog online here in the chat section, so feel free to take a copy of that link if you haven't seen it. It might just also be a refresher for today's webinar. But the purpose of today is for me to take you through an actual step-by-step guide using some live files. But as you can appreciate, the whole Superstream process can take up to 5 to 7 working days. So it's difficult to do everything through a live demo. So I have taken screenshots where that's applicable. Okay. So moving right along, a few things you just need to know about Superstream. Superstream was introduced by the Australian government to improve the all-round efficiency of the superannuation system. Now, I don't know about you guys, but you know, for bookkeepers and accountants, I think it's a great initiative, as we no longer have to spend all those onerous hours, creating electronic and BPay files now that the government has forced small business to do this. It's mandatory. So yes, it's mandatory from the 1st of July. So employers with less than 19 staff from the 1st of July will have to conform to Superstream. Those that have more than 19 had to comply last year in October. So I do know that it was supposed to be July last year, but the ATO pushed it out as not many businesses were able to get on board. So don't think the ATO is going to be lenient this year. I think they've given us more than enough time. Now, something I have noticed, just speaking to a lot of small businesses out there, they don't know about it. They really don't. So it's an opportunity for you guys as well, I see it, to give yourselves, you know, a bit of a shameless plug and just go out there and say, look, if you're not Superstream compliant, I can help you. It's what I do. So use this as an opportunity. I guess sometimes putting the fear of God into some small business owners is what they need to get on board. So use it as an opportunity to get in front of clients as well. So it means that contributions must be submitted electronically in a standard format. So, and this is where QuickBooks and KeyPay provide that format for us. So they use a clearinghouse called ClickSuper, which most of you are familiar with. And the USI is the new product identifier, which has replaced the old SPIN number. Now, USI, if you want to write this down, it stands for Unique Superannuation Identifier. And the SPIN stood for Superannuation Product Identification Number. So there you go. That's what they mean. Okay, so moving along. Okay. What you need to know, furthermore, is QuickBooks and KeyPay, they are submitted via the integrated clearinghouse, ClickSuper, which I mentioned before. There is a one-off standard setup fee of $20 as well. Now, if you are doing quarterly super payments, they are for free. It is included in your subscription. If you do need to do additional super payments, they will cost you 25 cents per employee per batch. Now, some of your clients might prefer that you lodge their superannuation monthly. So bear in mind that there is a 25 cents cost per employee per batch, which would be, per month. If you were to do a one-off superannuation payment for an employee that was terminated or made redundant, and the company insisted that their super be paid, then again that would attract a 25 cents. So you need to register your business first with Click Super and complete the direct debit authorization before you can start even using the Superstream function. And like I said in the beginning, the whole process can take up to 7 business days. So, okay, and again, like I mentioned, I'm going to take you through a live demo. I'm going to be using 2 QuickBooks files. One is pre-demo and one is one is pre-registration and one is post-registration. And the others will just be live screenshots. So bear with me while I maneuver from 2 different QuickBooks files and some screenshots. So the first one we're going to go into is ATC training on Chrome. Okay, so for those of you that aren't familiar with the payroll side of things, I'll just take you quickly and show you where the superannuation information is maintained for staff. So we've just gone into the employee file here, and I'm just going to click on this employee. And over here in Super Funds on the left-hand side, you will see that this person has Rest Super allocated to them. Now, if I want to add an additional super, or I just want to put a brand new one in, I can come in here and go Choose Super Fund. Now, let's just pick CBUS because I know it's an easy one, and I can go Search. Now, this is the beauty. You don't need to know the super fund's USI or ABN details if they're listed as a regulated fund. And as you can see here, it also does self-manage funds as well. So yes, that's what I want. So all I do here is just click on CBUS and it brings it up. So all I need to know, it's probably a good idea to get the USI code, because if you've got a fund that's very similar in name and has different types like ANZ life insurance, ANZ personal insurance, it can be a little bit tricky. So remove the guesswork and do try and get a USI number. And here you just put the member number, and if they wanted to split their super, you could do that as well. And like I showed you before, it can do self-managed super funds as well. Okay, so now that all your employee details are up to date, you've got their superannuation details in the system, we want to go right ahead and do register for superannuation. We do that through the reports menu in the employee tab. And if I come over here and go to superannuation payments, it's going to tell me that I need to register. So if you read through all this, here it does explain the $20 establishment fee, as you can see, and it covers the anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism legislation. Okay, so that's where the $20 is. So what you need to do is I generally just take a copy of that payroll provider detail code. So copy, and I click on the link here. That will take us straight into the application for Click Super. Now, everything is done online. There is no need to print any forms. It's all done online. So you would enter the application details, the client's ABN, and what will happen is it should populate the company name as well. And the system administrator, that would generally be your name as the bookkeeper who is managing the super for the client. And here is where you will paste that payroll provider code and you press submit. So once you do that, what will happen is you will receive an email. We're going to hop back over to our PowerPoint. Maybe not that one. And we've done the registration process. And this is the email that you will receive after you submit the initial application. So it comes to you and it pretty much tells you, thank you for your application. You have to become a registered user. And it also tells you that you are the system administrator. So what you need to do is click here on this, where it said here, and it will take you to another website link. Now again, I can't show you this live, so I've taken some screenshots. Now this is where you will complete some important information about the client, like their bank account details, where the super will be direct debited from. Because once you do lodge your superannuation batch, it will automatically take the money out of the bank account. So the client must be completely aware of that, and I guess it's, you need to be aware the cash flow purposes that they have their money in the bank account. So the other important information are the office holders over here. Office holders, which should generally be the directors of the company. Now, if there are two office holders, you need to note both of them down, and both of them will need to will receive an email that will require them to confirm the details are correct, which I'll take you through shortly. So once you've done that and you click submit, you will receive this email. And it will say, well, it's actually not an email, it's just a prompt. And it pretty much says your application has been successful, and it tells you what will happen next, that the office holder, your client, will also receive an email. And they can't continue with the process until the client has verified the email. So I would generally either do this in front of the client, or do it over the phone while you have the client, especially if you haven't done it yet. As time is getting away, you would probably want to get on this quite quickly and do it with the client. Okay, so once that has happened, this is what your client will receive. They will receive an email to a link which has all their information. It notes down that you are the contact. It also notes down the bank account details you have provided. What they need to complete is this section over here, their first name, their address, their date of birth and contact details. Once they are happy, they can click submit. They can also download a copy of the Financial Services Guide as well. So once that has happened, you will receive an email to advise that the account has been activated. Now you need to forward this email directly to KeyPay. Now we recently did one the other week, and I do believe that maybe this process has been cut out and KeyPay automatically do it now for you. But if you do receive an email that has Click Super Account activated, you do need to forward that on to support at yourpayroll.com. All that information will be in the email body anyway. Okay, so that's really all there is to do as far as the registration process goes. So where does that leave us now? Okay, so again, this is another process I can't show you live, so I've taken some screenshots. When you do first go to do, I'll just take you back to a file. We will go to a different file now. I'm going into the Employees tab, and this time I'm still going into Reports. So this is a file that has been registered for Click Super. But what happens now is when I go into Super Payments, I should no longer receive that black and white form that suggests that I need to register. Now, note, I'll go back to the other screenshot, this one here. Now, if you are only registered for up to 10 employees with KeyPay, you will find that it will ask you to update your billing information. Now, this is mainly just to be able to charge you for the $20 and to also charge you for any further batches you may create. Now, if you already have more than 10 employees on KeyPay, you would have done this already, because to process more than 10, you would have needed to have updated the credit card details. Now, we personally here in our business don't put our credit card, we grab the client's credit card, because we don't want to be chasing our clients for the $20, for the one-off $20 and the 25 cents every time they go over. So best to grab the client's credit card. And so when you select update your billing information, it will take you to this screen, and it will ask you here to enter your payment details. So this is where you will enter the client's details, and you just click save. So again, just make sure you reiterate to the client that they will only get charged if they make additional superannuation payments outside of the standard quarterly. Plus, they will also get hit with $20. So just be careful of that. Make sure you let them know. Okay, so once you've done that, you will get confirmation down here that you have your credit card has been saved on file. Okay, so now we will hop straight back into the live demo that I was in here before. So what we need to do here, so what you would normally do, I'll just go back a screen, guys, and I'll just take you back to superannuation contributions. Obviously, you would do your own checks and balances to make sure that your superannuation payroll report agrees back to your balance sheet. So do those checks. Then what you'll do is run this report. So I'm just looking at last quarter, and I know I need to pay superannuation $4,271. I can drill down here and I can see what it's made up of as well. I can even drill further down and have a look at the individual pay runs as well. So, okay, so once you've done that, you've done your own checks and balances, you would hop over back into your superannuation payments. Now remember that figure was 4271, and I would go here, new super batch payment. This information below are previous batches. Now because I've done several tests, batch runs, they just come up as errors because there's nothing in here. It's invalid ABNs and member numbers. So that's a good, back here again. So that's a good place to go and keep an eye out to see if there is an invalid batch. Okay. Okay, so new super batch payment. We're going to pay last quarter's batch, not BAS. And we can filter as well. So if you had several pay schedules like weekly and monthly, you could do, you could filter. Contribution type, if you wanted to do them separately as well, you can do that as well. In this case, I'm just going to do them all, and I select filter. Okay, so of the previous amount that I showed you, 4271, we may have already paid some of that. So what this doesn't do, it will not create a payment for something that has already been paid. Okay, and then all you would need to do here is go create batch, And that's all there is to it. It's given me my final warning to say I'm about to create a new super batch payment. This action will generate an automated payment from your bank account to the nominated super funds. Do you wish to confirm? And if I go OK, and then up here it's telling me my batch file was successfully submitted for processing. So yes, it's been successfully submitted, but I can tell you now it won't go through because there are invalid membership numbers, and superannuation details are all invalid. So that's all there is to the process. So as you can see, all the work is in getting it registered. So the biggest tip I can give you is do it with your client, particularly if you push for time, because you can shortcut a lot of time rather than wait for the client to see the email and respond, or get their permission that you put your details down. But whatever works, I guess you just need to make sure that they are compliant by the 1st of July. So just to recap, guys, I'll take you back to here and just a overall summary. Pre-registration, make sure all employees have been set up with their superannuation details. Do that first, and you do that by going to employees, reports and super payments. Now, if this is your first time, it will take you to the registering for automated super payment screen, as I showed you, and take note of that payroll provider detail code and just copy it onto the Click Super application form. And shortly after you've submitted your application, you'll receive an email straight away confirming that your application has been received. And you will then be asked to complete the second online application. The nominated office holders will also receive an email for them to verify all is correct. So shortly after, you will receive another email that tells you your Click Super account is activated, your client's Click Super. So it's very important that you forward this email directly to support at your payroll in order for them to facilitate the super payments. So allow up to 5 business days for this to take place. And once that all happens, we go to post-registration, where we can start paying our employees directly out of QuickBooks Online. So all you need to do is select the date range for the batch payment. As I said, do your own reconciliation to determine what needs to be paid. Create the batch and select OK. One thing I like to do is also create a bank rule for the payments that come out. It will have Click Super, so just create a bank rule, saves you having to code it each quarter or each month. So yeah, so guys, that's all there is to Superstream. We've done very well in just under half an hour, so it's great that I haven't taken all of the 1 hour. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to pop them in the questions box. Okay, I'm just looking at the questions tab, but feel free to ask away. Okay. Okay, so someone's typed here, one of my clients insists on not doing direct debit arrangements, so using the system won't work for them. They will still be Superstream ready if we use upload files to their default fund super clearinghouse, won't we? Absolutely, yes you are. You don't have to use the functionality within KeyPay, guys. You can use your own clearinghouse, and I believe there is an export function as well within KeyPay as well. So you don't have to. It's just a service, part of the system that's offered. Do we know which date the payments are debited each month? Okay, the payments are debited generally around, and I know this from my own personal experience, I would allow two business days. So it doesn't come out a particular day of the month for everyone. So it's when you create your batch payment, I would allow 2 days after that. So if you pay it on the 18th, more than likely you will see it coming out of your account on the 20th. Okay, any more questions? I don't see anything, but I'll hang around here for another minute if anyone's got any questions. I know everyone is super busy with end of financial year, and so it's great that you guys have made time. So there's what happens, sorry, the question box here is so small. When I create a bank rule, what accounts should I credit and debit? Okay, when you create a bank rule, an example, you only need to allocate the debit side if it's an expense. So the debit side in this case would be superannuation payable. If you are creating a bank rule out of a particular bank account, it will credit that bank account and debit the liability account. So that was just a question from someone. What happens to an employee's payment if they give incorrect details? Okay, what you saw back here, I'll just take you back to the, so if they are giving you incorrect details, it will bounce back and you will see a message here that will just give you, invalid details. So you will get that. In fact, you'll also receive an email. I know that again from personal experience. One of my staff members gave me the wrong details, so I did receive an email from Click Super. So hopefully that answers that question. Okay, let's have a look. Got a couple more. As long as we use Superfund in our clearinghouse, it will be all right. Yes, if you are using the ATO clearinghouse, guys, you are compliant. I also have clients on that, and they may only have one employee, and it's perfectly fine to keep them onto the ATO clearinghouse. Okay, so the post isn't showing up. Okay, there is a link to the, okay, let me just have a look. I think I heard that someone else prior to my webinar had the same issue, so apologise. I think it's a go-to problem here about the post. What we will do is I will make it available again through, I'll make it available through my Facebook page, plus also I'll make it available on the Intuit Pro Advisor Facebook page as well, guys. Okay. Thank you, Janelle. You love my business name. Okay, I think I'm just working backwards now. Let's. Will the next one? Sorry, I have done my first batch payment. Will the next one be automatic? Is it for the whole batch or just for that employee? Okay, so if you add additional employees, then yes, it will be automatic because you are now registered. So the system will recognise any new employees and any terminated employees as well. So it is automatic. I hope I've answered that question correctly. I hope I've interpreted it correctly. It's automatic as far as you still need to create your batch every quarter, but you don't need to make the physical payment yourself. Okay. Okay, guys, I think I've answered everyone's question here. If I haven't, please repost it. It could be hiding amongst all the other questions. And like I said, the box I have is very tiny to see the question. So if I haven't, yeah, please repost at the bottom and I'll quickly address them. Okay, here we have. If I am set up for Super Clearing House and click Super, is that a double up? Good question. I would have to say no, it's not. I think that they both just act as a conduit for the payments to be released. So if you don't use the the ATO Superstream clearinghouse, then you're not using it. You're not using that conduit. So if you're using Click Super, then yes. And look, I think you've got to ask yourself, if you've got more than 3 employees, it's definitely worthwhile being able to hit that button. It's a good investment, $20 investment. So I don't see it as being relatively that expensive. But if you do have a monthly, if you're in the building industry, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe CBUS require monthly superannuation, so it could become a little bit costly if you've got 30 odd people on the wages in the building industry. But then again, you can't use the ATO because they cap that as well up to 19 or 20 employees. So have a look at that, but I would definitely be I know, like I said, we're pushing most of our clients unless those that have 1 or 2, and it's just not worthwhile. Okay, well, I can't see any more questions, so if everyone is happy to wrap up, I'm happy to wrap up. Otherwise, yeah, if you would like to ask any more, if you've just had some time to think about things, feel free to keep asking away. Otherwise, I'm going to let you all go and get back to doing what you all do best. Thanks, Janelle. I'll see you online. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap up now. Have a great, what's today? It's Wednesday. I'm so confused from the long weekend. So enjoy the rest of your week and hop on to any other webinars that Intuit are running, because it's, you don't know what you don't know. Bye, everyone.